localhost and port 3000. There, it's just a boilerplate. We go back here, and I already have installed the next, the Axios. So si Andy ganiha wala siya naka-install daan og Axios pag-create sa project. So in order to be able to use Axios nga, kung wala mo maka enable daan sa Axios when you install the application, you have to issue a command nga npm install and then next /axios. Ana siya nga command. Okay? That command will install Axios and then pwede na mo gamit mo diha sa next config. Alright? So, first, we open up our pages and in the index ato lang ng ilisan. So, ang atong index gusto nitong mahitabo is magawas na ring list of members. Okay? Mga ngalan lang. Right? Alright, so we'll just remove this. And also our styles. First, here, we're gonna have to create a method. Our first data. This will be our will return hash for our members. Of course, it's going to be a blank array for now. Then we'll add our methods, and we'll create a method that is going to fetch the data from our API. So this is going to be an async get members. So here we await using this dot $axios dot get, and we pass in our URL. So we have localhost :8000/API/members. And we can now see that then pass in into our response and a callback function. So if the response status is equal to 200, meaning it's successful, then we can assign the response data into the members. By the way, if you look back on our request, right? If you look at our request, the output is you have an object, and inside of an object is the hash members. Unya na pa nimo makita ang array of the members. Okay? You have to be very careful as well sa unsay structure sa data nga mogawas sa imong request. So in this case, na ay ma-return nga member nga item, and it is an array of objects, and each object is a member. So napakay sudlan nga member ona. Okay? So here, ang ato ramang i-assign is ang members naman. So we say this.members is equal to res, and result we have the data, and inside the data moto si members, which is the array of members. Right? Now here we are going to have to put our members, display the members based on the data that we have in our data section. Now we'll just display first each one list of members. It's a All right, list of members, and we just put this in a table. So we'll have table, the table dash stripe, table dash border. Okay. Baka na ito nag-heading, the head, the RTH, we'll have last name, put in ng N. Just copy this, we'll have first name, and maybe just the points. By the way, ang sulod sa member na siya last name, first name, address, phone, email, points. We'll just use these three for our index, and ato na to ipakita ang detalye niya tanan ato sa yang specific niya viewer. At so we'll be creating a component that is going to display all the details of one member. Tanan niyang details of one member. But that component is not going to fetch anymore from the API. What it will do is it will receive the data from this page, from this index component. Pasa na niya padong dito sa component kamo yung display niya tanan. So usara ka, so right. Maoro gid gyapon ni siya sa view, guys. So I'll have T body, and here I'll have the TR. Okay. So this is going to be a V4. So V4, and we'll be V4ing the members. V4 members, member in members, and our key gonna be based on member.id. Na may ID ang atong data. Okay? May ID atong data, so can use that. And here we are simply going to interpolate the member, the name here. Yan ako na. Kasi yun. You have F name, and this is points. Can you see points? I'll just have it displayed text, right? Right, so let's see. And we have list of members, pero walay sulod. Right, we'll see. Let's see what's the problem is. Wala pa man din nato tawga ang method nga get members because it has to be called when it is loaded, and so we need to add a uh, lifecycle hook. In this case, the created lifecycle hook. Say created, and this is a function, and here we will simply call this dot get members. Yeah, function. Based on that, yan. And kung gusto ka, item dire, this is supposedly the button that is that we will click, and it will open up the details of our member. So we put that here sa fourth cell. That's why naka-blanco na siya diha, because this is just a button. So we'll just create a button here. Small lang siya. Say open. Wala man gud puta mag og font awesome. Pwede ba ito magbutag font awesome, but yeah. Okay, butang tag font awesome. CDN lang na to. Have here our font awesome CDN. And may CDN ano man. magpa-sign in pong buing. There. So just copy this. Galing kay di mo dating ni pwede sa kuan sa Nax ni nga ni style. Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, CSS here. Mau lagi di pwede. Delete na lang. Anyway, I'll just show you how to to deal with font awesome with Nax later. Okay, you have to download pa and put it in the assets. Okay, so kana lang open sa lang button. But right now when we click on it, wala may tabo. Supposedly we'll be adding a click here button, and so we'll be calling on view member method. So we simply will be adding that on view member, and here we are simply going to call upon kanang na ay component. So in this case, ako lang silong button is we'll just display a modal. Modal itong gamiton. And in that modal, we'll put our component that is going to display our details. So first of all, we'll create that component first. Create a new file here. We'll just say member view. So we'll have template, and so may dagway sa tong view niya. Ang pakasayon lagi po na table lagi po na niya. Anyway, the lesson is how to pass the data into the component. We'll have th here, last name, and then td, the member that lname. Wala pa tayo member nga object dani ha. Just name, have address, phone, email, and points. Any points, ito lang na siyang i-hanara. Of course, wala pa tayo data dire. We still have to add the script. And our data, first of all, in order for us to receive the data from somewhere else, from the one that is going to use this component, what we are going to declare is, the props. So in the props, we're going to, ano man siyang ngita mag-ts config nga JavaScript man nga akong code. Prop will call this prop member. Okay, so it's an object. So ang atong data will be based on that prop. Okay, so we'll also have a data return so may tawag na to ani current member, also an object niya aron ang member nga madawat na to gikan sa gawas mapasa na to padong sa data nga current member, we'll be calling a mounted lifecycle hook. And what we'll do here is simply this dot current member atong i-assign sa this dot member. The reason for this, guys, is you cannot edit prop or well, you can edit a prop, but it's not advisable to edit a prop. In fact, mo reklamo si view ana kay the prop, you have to understand the nature of the prop is ang data niya is gikan sa nag-create or naggamit sa component. Okay? So when you use the component, imo siyang ipada ang data as an attribute into that component code, into the tag of the component. So adtoy mo to'y source sa data sa prop. So if you are going to change that, murag mahogra o way hinungdan kay when you refresh, mailisan mayapno siya sa data sa as it is declared in the code. So that is why ang data nga ikan sa prop atong i-assign nga to sa data nga naa sa data mismo nga editable, and every time we change things here, it's just we're changing things on the current member. Gingan nila ko ni daan para maka-edit ani. Although we're just displaying here, we will try and um, submit a put request or maka-change ta sa data mismo sa atong backend. Ato ning ilisan into, trohon into form later on. Okay? So, let's see. O mugana na ba tani? We are simply going to create here a sana, a modal. So above here, we'll create a BV model. B model ba to? Kalimot ko kanuna yan eh. Kasi ito na kinumdum mo sa unto pag-apply modal sa Bootstrap view. B model. B model. And we'll just give it a title of view member. Yeah, inside the ray, ato na tibutang atong component nga member view. So here we say member view, a component. And of course, since we need to pass in a property, sa tingnan sa property, it was member. We pass in the member. And here, mupasa man tawag unsay atong gi-click. Unsa nga member ang atong gi-click. Okay, so this has to be dynamic. And so we simply sana bind it to a data. So may data na to nga mooy mo kuan sa atong selected member. So we'll just add that here. We'll have selected member, which is a sana an object. Unya, inig-click na to, di ba kanimo may tawgon? So inig-click na to kanimo oy mahitabo. And so we'll simply grab this member here that is connected to this button. Remember, every single member has its own button. Okay, so we can pass that member into the button on the on view click. So we'll just add here a parameter, and that parameter is the actual member right there, so that it will be passed right here. And so and simply assign this dot selected member to that particular member. So ang member nga naa diri display nimo kauban ani nga button mo igipasa nimo sa iyang on view member. So ang on view member mo ni siya ang na-receive nga parameter is assigned to the selected member nga ato ang data, and that selected member mo atong i-bind diri. Right? So basically ang selected member mo mapasa as prop padung sa member view. And that member view has this prop. And this prop, once it's mounted, is assigned to current member nga data na to. So therefore here, we should not be using member here. We should be using the current member. Okay? To display that one. And also, aside from assigning the past member into the selected member, we'll also have to display, of course, ipakita na nato ang modal, which is this one. So we'll add here an ID of this modal. So member view modal. And so we'll just call the show of this modal, by the way. In order to show, nakalimot na pod ko sa itong code ato ni. Adala. So, BV modal. And the ID. So, just say this that $BV modal that show, and inside of the show will be the ID, which is gibutang was kani member view model. Okay. So let's see, and click on open, and we have last name noon sa at least nigawa sa tong modal. Apollos unsa po ni last name ay nun sa ba? And no, naara sa usa ka TH ano mo mao. Again. Would be a TD here, and this TD is going to show the current member that name, and then tech name, address, phone, email, and let's change also our labels here. This should be first name, address, phone, email, and it says points earned. Right? Boom. And walay sulod. So walay sulod si current member. Bakit walay sulod? Let's try to one. Selected member. Makikinanglan tani og static key. Stroke aron na sa daan. Yapon. Let's try to console log our selected member og naa ba siya? Or console? Uy, na may error na eh. Invalid prop type. Oh. So anyway, click ta, boom. Daghan na man ining gawas. Naman tanan. Ang napasa kay tanan. So let's see. Members man jud pod ang gipasa yun unsa ba? Dili gyapon. When you click, oh, so na naman, napasa naman siya. Amo lagi. Like members na siya daw. Okay ra man na kay parameter man na siya. Kuan siguro. Unahon na to og display ang modal kay aron ma-create siya usa pa na to assignan ang member o selected member kay mo man na siya nakabind niya da. Let's try. Wa gyapon. And nag-error na hinon. Try sa kuno na to og display ang component dili sa modal kay aron dili ta ma-complicate sa modal ha. Let's try putting this first row and then seven. Butang na to ang table diha. And then in another column, ay ano na to ibutang si member U with the prop member current selected member. Natadari and when you click on that, wag gyapon ang gawas. Na ay data nga mapasa. The amor pala. The amor. Now, but why is not passed into the component? Sige. Tanaw na to kung sinadawat na to sa component. So here, person amounted, let's see, is the current number. Click. Uy, why nadawat? Nothing happened, man. After our on new member. So yan sa kung natunig. Ang prop mismo yung ipase. Kasi ang problema kay wala kini siyang wala na tumapasa sa current member. Ha? O na. So the problem tingali is we're not able to pass this member nga prop padong sa current member nga data. Okay. It has to be in computed. And so we'll have, instead nga mag-data ta nga current member, we'll have a computed nga current member, which is going to return this dot member. Yan, may error. Current, no, yan. No, it's supposed to be function. Ang expect niya kay expected an object but got a function. Okay. Computed mo yung object, nasulod mo ay function. Return this, that. Nagproblema ang atong nahitabo. So, there you go. So, when we click on one member, so what happened is we're able to pass the data from the selected member into a component. Remember, this part here is from a component, and the component did not have to read again from the API. Ito yung balik sa katungkuan sa modal. Here we have member view. Member is bound to selected member. Title. And here we will display. Oh, ano naman? Oh, ang ID pa dahil wala mabutang ID. Yan. So, mas nice na siya. James Bruce. Okay? Wala, nakalimot ko. Ay, nag-record ninyo. Ha? Guys, na nag-record ninyo?
Si Ed, sir.
Okay. Alright. So, yan. Ito na itruhon into form. So, sulod ano yung mga ilisan na ito na yung mga input types kaya maka-edit ta, and when we click here, instead of okay, save changes, it's going to change that particular one. Sana data. Okay. Kapit naman the time. Any questions so far? Wala. So we go back to our member view here. Instead of displaying it as is, we'll display it inside of input field. Okay. So what I'm going to do is tangon ako na balik because I'll be getting this out of here. And inside of the TD will be an input type text with a value of that particular value. Ilagay mga curly braces diha. So here we'll have selected member. Okay? Remember that start with L name. And let's bind this na lang dito. The model with a member, current member at L name. See? Yan. And we'll just copy this. So this is first name here, not address or address here, then phone. So the phone, guys, points. Okay, click. There you go. Ning address ito ng ilisan ng text area. Input type text. Di ba? Di. Alas binji. Text area. And inside B model. to work? Yeah. Ba? Let's just add one rows to re. Itong padakan niya itong kuan eh. Itong modal. The size. LG. LG pro agad pun muda ko agad kuan content dari. So we'll just add class of form control for all of them. Agad pun. Ay sus, minusip niya yung form control. Form. Okay. Now let's change the OK to save changes. Sa ito ang, ay, alay, ito ang modal here. This should be okay. Title. Anong karoon pa si Alvin? Kuya Alvin, anong karoon pa magka?
Karon pa yung mga
Numura, tuog pa. Practice ng mga
sir.
kamatay, wala na kang bangon.
Sorry, sir.
Save changes. And on, beyond. Ano ito pag paitad ni? Kung ano yung ganing modal ba kayo? Mapasok ko mo sa ito pag ayaw ng modal ba? So next we are going to kanang na ay grab or get the action when we click on the save button sa modal. Karon mo pass mo send to og kanang request pa dong sa atong API. Ako sang tan-aw ning kasabot ning documentation sa BIM modal eh. Jesus at okay. Okay. At okay. And we'll have a handler. Sub on save. So we'll add a method here on save. Let's just try to alert mo ba gid ni? Oh, save. Okay. So click on that, click on save, and yeah, to save. Gana siya. So when we save, we are simply going to get the data from our member here, the selected member. Let's try. We are now going to pass it down back to the color, the property. Sarap to ikaw mo ko. Yung tabon. Yeah, to sa console sa lahat. Okay, so all you have to do is pass the selected member into selected member into the API. Okay. Ako na lang mo. Okay, so on save, we're going to do an async. Okay, it's an async. And we'll have an await here. We're simply going to call this $axios dot put, the put request. Sa ito ang kuhan, backend. Let's see, routes API. Yeah, it's a put request. So put request for http://localhost:8000 / API/members, and here we pass in the Oy, pass not current member, current of selected member, selected member that ID, and then here we pass in our data, and that data is of course the selected member, and we'll have a then response if response that status is equal to 202. Let me check back na pod sa API na to. Kung 202 ba gilabay na to ni. So sa put, mula ba tag 202, right? So kung 202, well, successful siya, magpalang taog alert. And we'll simply alert. Ano naman to yung message nung atong ko ano? And I message updated successfully. So, na atong gamiton. We'll alert rest that data that message. So, si Abrigana atong ilisan og ni Orculio Ingatogon. Taga Makaas. Bigan, Bohol. Save changes of selected member is not defined. Man. Oh, sus Mariusip. This and kulang. I always seem to forget that. Ano to? Bigana. Orculio Hingatogon. Biga. As. Okay, updated successfully. Of course, updated na siya, but let's see og updated ba gid siya sa database. And nga nato niya was SIA members. Tanaw na to direct da batay search taog Orculio. And yeah, we have Orculio Hingatugon Makaasligon Bohol. Okay. So that's it for this demonstration, guys. I hope you have learned something. Again, the process here that we are doing was we are passing object into a component, and the component is what we see here inside of the modal, and that component is of course this guy here. Under the components folder, we added a member view, which simply puts out a table based on the data it received from a prop member, which is assigned to a computed property, so that we can change it through vmodel into input fields. And so when we saved it using the save button of our modal, using the OK directive, we call the onSave. And the onSave is a method which simply sends a request to the API members using the selected member ID. By the way, which this selected member is now updated based on the changes that you did on the form, on the input fields, because naka-V model man to siya. So naka-bind ang input field padong sa mga properties sa selected member. And so the data selected member is being passed. And when that happens, we get the result. of the data which is returned from our API, and our API actually did the update on the database itself before nag-send og response. And so that is the end result. Let's do this again. We open up this one and lang natin ni og kabahog. O dali. Lisan nato ni og cruel. Puyo na sila sa tinangnan. Yeah, 5,000 na ilang points. Save that. Cruel. Cruel. Save pag yun. Dito successfully. Oh, save. Okay. By the way, og natinganga mo nga nung automatic siyang ning update, that's because we are passing it up. Ang data sa member, gipasa na to padong sa babaw. So whenever we did changes to that, it is linked man. They are you're talking about the same object. By the way, pananglitan, let's open this up. Take a look at this here. Makita mo gyud nato from here to here. Naka-B model man na siya, naka-bind na siya. Tanawa. If we change Jones, see, it's automatic na siyang change that. Okay? Although, apataning change sa database. So, kung mag-cancel ta, mo lang na problema kay dapat mo balik kung na siya kung sa nasa itong database. But if we are going to, anyway, if we are going to refresh, mo balik naman po na siya sa original. But since naka-bind na siya, manggod, when we change that, everything with this is changed on the fly. Okay?
I-push sa GitHub, sir. Sige na. Hindi ba klaro sa record?
Hindi mo kaklaro sa record. Ano di man maklaro sa record?
Hanap akong pananaw.
Sige. I'll try to push this to GitHub later on.
Yay.
Okay, so that's all. Thank you for coming, guys. By the way, tomorrow you'll have another activity similar to this, or you are to make your own project that is similar to this one. So meaning you'll have to have your own kuan pod. Kuan na lang maghimo ko API. Kini nga API ako nang expose sa online. Kaya aron kani nga API inyong gamiton. Aron di na mo maghimog API. Nya tagaan lang muna ko sa link sa API. Okay? So that's it. Thank you for coming. You may now
Klase sa capstone, sir.
mag-break sa takadiyot kay we'll be back at 10:30 using the same link. Okay?
Okay.
Sige. Bye-bye everyone. Execute live drill.